Okay, so me and Russ are back out at the site that, well, we were just at not too long ago, but we are not digging today because we actually dug yesterday.
Yeah.
And actually had a really good hunt, and I found a really good button, but you may or may not ever see the video because the reason we're back out here is because I lost my camera.
Yep.
So the only problem, well, it's not the only problem, but the problem is that normally we come up and down the original road that's here, and I came back a different way. So there's my path I came at, but I came out through the woods rather than through the normal route. So yeah, unfortunately it can be anywhere, but we're gonna go take a look and see if we can't find this thing. Okay, so far we've walked in and hadn't come across anything, but I didn't think it was back in this area. I know I walked over here and checked out beside this big tree and don't see anything here. I came and worked my way up this side where I think y'all were over there.
Yeah.
And
we were on this side hanging out most.
Oh, bless baby Jesus.
Hey, now.
How about that? So I managed to, I did not sleep at all last night trying to find this thing.
I know, bless your heart.
So now with that said, you have got an episode to watch, and we got a great button that we found here, and you're going to get to see it. Alright, so me and Russ are back out at the site where we were at the last hunt, and we've got our buddy Phil with us this time. Say hey, Phil. Hey. Yeah, Phil's from the low country, but he's here with us, and we're way back in a different area of the site. We're actually going to try to do some trenching because I've picked up all kinds of glass and china shards, just picked up a piece of a dispensary bottle. But this is also where last time Russ was here, he dug a bunch of stuff too. So anyway, we're gonna hunt around here a little bit, maybe find something cool, and you're gonna be right here with Russ is down that way. Phil is out that way somewhere. We're working this berm, which appears to be full of trash. Looks like what I got is, yep, it's gonna be a pocket watch part. And that's exactly what it is. Nice watch part. So I've got a little decorative piece down in the hole. Don't have any idea what it is. Well, the sun comes out just in time. That's pretty cool. Brush it off a little bit. It almost looks like almost looks a little bit like a plume holder, the way it wraps around like that. That might be exactly what it is. Okay, so I don't exactly know what it is. It looks like it had a little ring up at the top. Definitely made it look like feathers. Wraps around the bottom there, so it wrapped around something. I mean, I'd hate to call it a plume holder and it not be, but if anybody has a better idea on that, let me know. Got a good target here, but I believe it's brass. It looks like it's a little utilitarian buckle of some kind. Right here. Yep. Give me the D. Little D buckle. Here we go. That's cool. So, okay, I decided to come back over here where there's just tons of glass, rock, china, iron, and decided I'm just going to dig. I'm going to remove some of this topsoil, move it out, spread it out, and about the third shovelful, out pops a bottle. So who knows, there might be some more in here. Gonna work our way around here a little bit and see what we can see. Look, there's a neck to an old one right there. See all the china in here, so who knows, this might be a little trash pit. Let's get on it here. I'm moving dirt here just because I can. Pull the bottle out. There's a lot of brick and china in here, and look what I found in the hole here. It's broken, but it's a nice point nonetheless, so I might need to slow down just a little bit in case we got more. Nice. So I've moved on from my digging holes over here, and well, big holes, and got a good target here, and it looks like it's going to be a harmonica reed right there. Yep. Nice old harmonica reed. Whoops. Cool. Okay, so I dug a piece of a harmonica reed here just a minute ago. Got a really good signal, and it looks like it's on top of the ground. And from what it appears, it looks like it's a little two-piece cuff button right here. I haven't picked it up yet, so. That's what we're here for. Let me give a little cleanup. It's definitely got something on the face. I can tell you what's on the face, and that's a palmetto tree. Hot dang it. My streak is over. A year and a half without a Confederate button. I'm good to go. Hot damn. There you go. Brushed it off just a little bit. I'm using the GoPro Hero, so I can't see exactly what I'm shooting at, and I know it doesn't have very good macro close-up, but yeah, hopefully you can see. I'll definitely put a close-up picture here of this as well. Okay, so the very first time we ever came out here, I showed you guys this, but there may be some of you who never did see that video. This is right about the coolest thing in this whole site. So there's the road that comes up through here. The teardrop wraps all the way around and you know, comes back to the road again. But what's cool is this. This is the old carriage step. It's probably at least a couple of 100 years old, sitting right here on the edge of the road, and you know, it hasn't been moved in a couple of 100 years. It's not going to be moved probably for another couple of 100 years. That thing probably weighs a ton. But it's going to sit right there where it's been for its whole life, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do, since I have a really good candidate for showing this, I'm going to show you my procedure for cleaning a button. Now let me go ahead and tell you, I am not a big cleaner. I will leave the dirt on a button or a relic forever if I think it looks okay. The last thing I want to do is mess up the way it looks or ruin a patina. But with this little South Carolina cuff that I dug today, it's got a little bit of gold gilt on it, and I think with a little bit of cleaning it could shine just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and go through the process and show you what I do when I feel like a button is worthy of cleaning. So here's what you're going to do. Okay, so pretty simple. What I'm going to use is hydrogen peroxide to initially clean off the dirt. And then once I've cleaned the dirt, then I'm going to examine it and take a look at the gilt and see if I think that it needs a treatment with the aluminum jelly or perhaps lemon juice. Now, I do not have any lemon juice, so I'll probably use the aluminum jelly. It's pretty strong, so I'll be very careful in the way that I use it. I don't want it to sit on there very long. I'm going to need some Q-tips for cleaning after I soak in the peroxide, and the toothbrush would be for the use of the aluminum jelly. Now, here's a quick look again at the button. I'm not sure if I was able to get a really good close-up in the field just because I was using that little Hero. And it's probably pretty hard to see the gilt on there just through this close-up, but it's there. I can see it under the dirt, but I've done nothing other than brush it a little bit in the field, a little dry brushing. So I'm going to take it through the process and show you what I do. First thing I'll do is I will put the button in my little container here. I'm going to start off with it face up. It may need a treatment face up and face down to clean both sides, because I also would like to see if there's a back mark on it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to cover the button in the hydrogen peroxide, and then take it and I'm going to put it in the microwave, and I'm going to set that for 30 seconds. And so then we'll let the microwave do its thing, and then I'll show you what's happening after the time is up. Okay, so the quick heating of the hydrogen peroxide seems to activate it. And so when I pull this out, I should have it just bubbling away. And if you'll see there, that button is just bubbling. So the hydrogen peroxide is doing what it's supposed to do. I will probably let it sit and do that for about half an hour. And if it needs more cleaning after that, then I will treat it again. Okay, so you can see that at this point, it's been in here about an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer. We had to watch Survivor. Still bubbling just a little bit, but it's cooled down. As the hydrogen peroxide, cools off, the bubbling tends to slow down. What we're going to do is we're going to clean it with a Q-tip. And the trick here with the Q-tip is that the Q-tip needs to be wet. So we're going to kind of try to hold this thing up here close. Kind of doing this from behind the camera. So what we'll do is we'll just rub the face of the button. You see the black there? Rubbing off. I'll show you this. Pretty dirty. But it's doing the trick as far as getting it clean. Again, you see all the stuff coming off. And just occasionally change out the Q-tip. I'll wet it again. We'll clean it. Again, you see still stuff coming. And it might not hurt to give it one more heat in the microwave just to make sure. But basically you want to do this until the Q-tip stays clean and nothing else is coming off. And we'll certainly do the same thing to the back. And the back pretty dirty too. I'm not sure if we're going to get a back mark off it. Looks like it's, honestly I can't, I will say what it looked like, but I don't know. I have no idea. We'll get the loop out here in a little while. I can't make it out. Shank's missing there. A little banged up, but that's okay. Alright, so that's what we're going to do as far as the peroxide. Looks pretty good. And of course, you can see the gold gilt coming through. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this, this aluminum jelly here, and we're going to do a very quick treat on the button with the aluminum jelly, see if we can't bring the gold gilt out. So it's not going to take a lot of this aluminum jelly. A little bit on my brush here, and we'll brush it on. Just going to let it sit here for just a second and soak. While it sits there a second, I'm going to rinse off my paintbrush. Probably not going to leave it sitting on here more than about 30 seconds or so, because I can always do it again. So give me just a second. I'm going to go take the brush and over to the water here, apply some soap, neutralize the aluminum jelly and see what we got. Okay, so basically about a 30-second little soak with the aluminum jelly, and it brought out the gold gilt as best it can. It really is kind of loaded with gold. Pretty pleased with how that turned out. Any longer, it would actually start to take off the gold gilt. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. It'll display nice, and hey, that's a nice South Carolina Confederate button. Do over.